right now. Okay. Hello, Carolina Markowicz. Tell people what your movie Charcoal is about.
My movie is about a family that receives a proposal to hide a fugitive, a person who needs to hide, to be hidden. And then things doesn't go exactly how everyone expected.
Okay, cool little premise right there. So tell people about excuse me, the initial inspirations for the movie, the first few kernels.
Inspirations. I grew up on the countryside, and I think this environment of playing a role that not necessarily is the truth of the people, like the family that are together, and even though they hate each other, when you are gay and you cannot be gay because you need to play a role in society and everything. This was always an obsession for me when I was growing up. And in that city, once I met a woman and she was very tough and she took care of her home, and she was a very strong woman, and she was married to a guy that was like, who, the so-called head of the family, and who didn't do anything. He didn't work, he drank a lot. And turns out that someday that I got to know that someone wanted something from her that she didn't want, and that she threatened the person to death. And she lived in a house that was very far away from the city and everything. And then I was starting thinking about what could happen in that house. She inspired me, she inspired me to the main role in Charcoal. So, and then I mixed all these things. And also there was some inquietude for me, inquietant for me, of this Brazilian status quo right now, of that violence, of that's very normalized, and things I guess things melted in my head, and that's why I did Charcoal.
Cool. And were there any movies that might have influenced the movie Charcoal? Sorry.
Paper Moon from Peter Bogdanovich, in terms of the relationship of both of them. I am Almodovar is always an inspiration for me, even though the film is very different from his work, but this mix of humor and tragic, and it's something that I really enjoy very much. And also Brutti, como chama o filme do Feio-se do Ettore Scola? Brutti, Sporchi. I don't know the name in English, but okay. Ettore Scola film as well was an inspiration for us to create it.
Okay, cool. That's a fun reference guide for people to check out after they watch this interview. So how many people were in the crew? And tell me a bit about your crew.
Well, my crew was, I had people who were very close to me from a long time that I had worked previously. The DOP is a very close friend who worked with me in all my short films. The production designer had worked with me also and is a close friend. The AD is a very close person to me, an amazing professional as well. And the actors, some of them were close. I knew already, like Cesar Bordon, the Argentinian one. And the other ones I got to know because of the film. But something happened in this film that people got very close, and we became kind of a family that was looking for the weirdness of the film together. And I like to say that sometimes I had the impression that we were watching the film and not doing it, because we were very interested in what was going on. And it was a very crazy feeling that I had never had before. So it was very helpful in my first feature to have all these fantastic people together with me and trying to create this atmosphere together. Even if we didn't know exactly what we were reaching, we were trying to reach something weird, and everyone was very profoundly involved in this creation. This was something so valuable for me.
That's beautiful. Was it ever emotionally challenging dealing with this material?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. It is very it is emotionally challenging to do a first feature. I had done 6 short films before. I find very hard to do films always because it's so much involvement emotionally, financially, whatever. So it's, it's, but when you're doing a feature film, there are many more people involved, there are more financial involved. So it's a big pressure. And it's something that you feel at all the time, and you must try not to feel that while you are doing the film, and trying only to reach the greatness of the film and to reach what you believe, and try to connect with your own voice. But there were some moments, of course, of things that weren't working out, or that were complicated, for sure.
I imagine editing it is tough too.
Very tough. Very, very, very tough. And we had a lot of material, and it was very difficult me to do some choices. Also about crew, Lautaro, the editor, is someone that I really enjoy working with. He also did all my short films, and it's my partner in crime completely. And he helped me a lot, and we worked together for a long time, but not that long. So it was difficult to have like this final cut and to do that choices. So I find editing very hard, indeed.
Okay. Do you think international movies, foreign movies, whatever you want to call them, are a good way to learn about the culture they're coming from? Do you think we get maybe more empathetic by watching more international movies?
Yeah, I think so. I think you learn a lot about the people, about the issues, about politics, about the beliefs of the people. And it's very important to understand and to feel what's going on in the world, in the contemporary world. So I find very interesting to watch films from completely different cultures from mine, and I really enjoy, because it's a learning, and it's interesting to, not like in terms of teaching something, but watching a story of family or a person, or how human beings deal in other places with their problem and everything. I think it's very interesting that what movies allows us to have.
Nice. What are some of those movies, other international movies you've seen recently that you think are worth noting?
Some international movies that I've seen recently. I've been so crazy recently that I haven't watched recently many movies.
Yeah.
I would need to think for a couple of seconds. What have I watched lately? I've been so crazy in the editing.
Yeah, you've been working on your own movie. You haven't really had time, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, but I pretty much enjoy a lot of.
What's one from like the past 10 years, maybe?
Oh, 10 years is a long time. So
yeah.
Let's think about, say,
tough questions.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that tough, but as I wasn't, it's good for me to I was speaking about a movie these days that I saw.
Did you see Parasite?
I did. I love Parasite so much, of course.
There you go. Everyone loves Parasite, but yeah. Solid example. Still not everyone has seen it, I guess.
I love Parasite so much. I love Cold War so much, from Pavel Pawlikowski. I like very much a Paraguayan film called Las Herdeiras.
Cool.
I love very much the Florida Project. I'm in love with the Florida Project. I love very much Eliza Hittman's last film, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, which is an American film, but I enjoyed it so much. And I am right now forgetting many movies that I enjoyed lately, but
Yeah, was it rarely never rarely sometimes always? Yeah, I saw that movie in Berlin. That was really good.
Yeah, I saw it in Berlin as well.
Oh, cool. We were in the same city for a period. That's cool. Right before COVID,
Exactly.
the last big one before COVID.
Me too. I think it was the last picture I saw in the movies before COVID.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what's the biggest challenge you face as a filmmaker?
In general or in this film?
Both.
To create a specific tone, I think it's something that for me is always very hard and the most important thing in a film, to create a tone and to believe in it and not to try to create something that makes sense for that film specifically. And I think this is very difficult because it's not a reference or something, it's something that should happen in this specific story, and it's something that whether it happens or not. So I think to create a tone and to believe in this tone and to have the actors and the entire crew believing in that and doing that, and you know what's going on after that, I think it's the biggest challenge.
Okay, Carolina, thanks very much for your time. Are you excited for TIFF? Going to be in Toronto?
Yeah, I am. Are you from Toronto?
I'm from Ottawa, which is 5 hours
Oh.
away from. Yeah, you know Ottawa, the capital. Yeah.
Sure, I've been to Ottawa a long time ago.
Oh, cool. What brought you here?
Because I have my father has a cousin that lives over there, and then once we were in Canada and we went to Toronto, to Ottawa, and to some other place a long time ago, like 20 years ago, but it's a good place.
That's great. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time. And Charcoal's the movie. Everybody check it out.
Thanks so much. Good to see you.
My pleasure.